Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how to position yourself as an authority. If you really want to be known as the go-to person on a specific topic, I want you to do one thing, just one specific thing. We'll talk more about it in the video. By the end of this video, you will learn the payoffs of writing a book, the value of experience, and the awesome impacts of networking. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free opportunity. Let's dive in. If you're looking for the go-to expert on any topic, where's the first place you look? Google? Social media? You know the first place I look? Amazon. I'm interested in seeing who wrote the book, not just a book. A lot of people write a book on a specific topic. The book, the go-to book on the topic. If you can write that book, the person who writes that go-to book is the go-to expert, is the go-to authority on the topic. And writing a book can really set you apart as a thought leader, as an expert, as an authority. Think about the effort that goes into writing a book and publishing a book and standing behind it and believing in it. It's a journey. It's an emotional journey. It's obviously, a journey in other places too of writing, but it's an emotional journey, and being able to get on the opposite side of that, you're constantly the go-to person. You are the authority. If you write the go-to book on your topic, in your area of expertise, it could be a book that resonates for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. This could be something that stands the test of time. This could be something timeless. It's so easy for people to come and go in terms of the expertise and in terms of their area of focus. But writing a book is timeless, and it allows you to connect your story to every other story that's been written on this topic. There's this continuum of expertise, and everything just kind of floats above the rest. It's easy to condense things, over the years, to condense our music and our movies and our stories accordingly. You want to be the book, the message that stands apart. And you can do that by writing the book on your topic. How do you go about doing that? That's not an easy thing. It's a challenge. And I think it's a challenge worth taking. It's a challenge worth pursuing. It's so easy in this throwaway culture that we live in to just move forward from things. We subscribe, unsubscribe, commit, uncommit. It's easy to move forward from things and forget about things and just find something new. It's so easy to find that new thing, but you want to be the go-to person. You want to be the expert. And it's just awesome to be able to put your message out there in the world. But you need to be able to write the book and base it on something. You can't just write it based on, half-cocked ideas and think that the book is going to be special or it's going to stand out. It needs to come from a place of authority. In order to gain that perspective, you need to learn a skill. You need to spend time doing the thing. You can't just jump in and be the expert from day one. You really need to move into this space, and it requires you to learn a skill and to spend time at it and to work at it and to make it a craft. This isn't just a job. This is an art or a craft to you. This is something bigger, something that your purpose is tied into. So you really need to dive into it. You need to learn a skill. You need to do the hard work and spend a lot of time figuring it out. Through that process, through that journey, through that effort, you then kind of start to develop a paradigm, your own perspective and your own unique vision of it. How is this different? How is your unique perspective different? There needs to be something beyond, not just what everybody else is putting out there, but something new and fresh and different. And one of the ways that you can really hammer that home is by connecting with other industry leaders. You want to be the go-to person in the space, so the other go-to people in the space need to think of you first of mind, front of mind. They need to think of you when the topic comes up that you're focused on. And it's great to be able to connect at conferences, connect in different interviews. I've seen people who host a podcast become an expert in the space and connect to people that way. It's awesome to be able to have a mechanism to be able to connect with other industry leaders, because then you can kind of compare notes and compare perspectives. Your ideas aren't going to be the same as everybody else's, and they shouldn't be. You should have unique perspectives and focuses. This isn't about believing and agreeing with everything everybody else is saying. You can take contrarian viewpoints, and you should. It's about taking your perspectives and your experience and your insights from all these connections, and it creates something completely new, something different, something that's unique to you, that is as unique as a fingerprint or as a snowflake. It's something that no one else has. All of these elements piecing together into this thing. But it's not enough just to amass these ideas and to connect with people. The next step is to share the message in some capacity. Obviously, a book is a great way to do so, but it could be a podcast, it could be a YouTube series, it could be LinkedIn post. You need to be able to share your message and stand behind it in some way. And that's the way that you can really plant your flag into the ground and showcase your authority, showcase your expertise, to really show everybody else, what you have, what you're bringing to the table. I think about my efforts to write a book about a baseball player named Ken Caminiti. And going into that process, I started the work on the book in 2012. It took me a decade to publish the book. And when I began on that process, I was a newsroom journalist in New York City, which gave me some credibility, but I didn't cover sports, I covered news. So I really didn't have a lot of credibility in this space. My own unique perspective was that I was a 1990s baseball fan growing up. I would be, at the railing at baseball games trying to get autographs from players and connecting with players and sending them letters in the mail. So I was a fan of 1990s baseball, and I had these newsroom experiences as a journalist. Okay. So I started working on the book. At the time I started working on the book and people asked me, what's my connection to the subject or all of these things, I didn't really have a good answer for them. I wasn't an authority. I was simply somebody who was interested. But I kept interviewing people again and again and again. I interviewed 400 people for the book, and I worked on it for 8 years before I handed it in to be published. So when I published the book, that was the breakout party. That was the party of, okay, yes, this person has something to say, and they're an authority on this topic. It took a long time to get there. And it's special to be able to become an expert on something, to become an authority on something. And every once and again, I'm still interviewed about these topics, about baseball of the 90s, about steroids in baseball. I'm seen as a go-to expert because of the level of quality of the book that reflected the fact that I had something to say. And that's really an important balance here. It's not about just writing a book. It's about writing a great book. It's about writing a book that stands the test of time, and that's not an easy process. I think a lot of times people want to rush, and people want to speed ahead, and people want to just push it out there just to say they did it. That's not good enough. When you're trying to write a timeless book, you can't rush it. You have to let it evolve over time. You have to challenge your thinking. You need to take all of these elements and bring them together. And you really need to do it right. A lot of times that involves working with a ghostwriter or a coach in order to get all these elements in place, to work on the foundation of the book, to make sure you're saying something unique and special. When you have something controversial, back it up with facts. It's not enough just to throw ideas out there, but you need to back it up. So even if someone doesn't necessarily go in agreeing with you, they can leave saying, I see why they wrote it that way. I see why they feel that way. That's a really interesting take, but they had defended it well. It's not always about getting people to believe in everything you write. It's that you have the authority, that you have the credibility to be able to go places they didn't expect you to go and to respect you for it. And that's a process that really takes a lot of time, but doing it right, doing the work, I can honestly say, it's such an awesome feeling to be able to publish a book that people look to and to position me as an authority on something. It's awesome. It's awesome to think I'm an expert on the topic. And I've worked with so many book authors on helping them become authorities on their topics too. It's really what I do as a book ghostwriter and as a book coach, writing coach, is to help people come into their authority, to share their message, to make it count. And it's just such a powerful thing to be able to put a book out there that resonates and to unlock your power, to unleash your power and to share something that's going to have an impact for years to come. There's really nothing like it, and it's a time release capsule because people are going to read your book on their own time, at their own pace, and they're going to encounter your book from years from now. They're going to encounter your book years from now. You want it to be something that stands up. You want it to be something that carries forward, that you can put your personal stamp on, that you stand behind. You know, so when I talk to people who want to cut corners or use ChatGPT to write your book, I push away from that, you know, because I think this is really the chance to stand apart. And, you know, there's so much awesome potential on the opposite side of that book. You know, whether it's driving leads and opportunities to your business, whether it's getting better speaking engagements and interview requests, there's so many things at play, and why pass that up? You know, why pass up the chance to be the go-to authority? If you want to learn more about how to position yourself as an authority, I'm sure you have lots of questions about the book writing process in general, and I'd love to help fill in some of those gaps, answer your questions, and because of that, I recorded a course. It's called Good Book Blueprint. Go to goodbookblueprint.com. It's a free course. I recorded it with a dear friend of mine, Nate Woodbury, and we talk all about the writing process, talk all about the publishing process, talk all about books and what it means to write a book and what it means to bring it forward and the authority it can provide to you. So if you're interested in learning more about books and book writing, check out the course. I think you'll get a lot out of it. Remember, good ghostwriting makes great books. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.